Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarLadder RMR Qualifier. It's the closed qualifier here. It's the final day of the closed qualifier. My name is Dinko, joined by Hawker for this one. And we've only got one more spot up for grabs, right? We've seen all the rest of the teams make it through, but one more spot lies in front of our teams today. And only two teams survive to be able to get that spot. It's going to be Khan and K23. How are you feeling about things, Alex? How have you felt about the tournament so far? How are you feeling about today?
I'm feeling good about today, honestly, because I think we were expecting some of those top teams in this qualifier to kind of cruise their way through it, get out in those first and second place spots. But we were pointing out that this qualifier has got some depth to it. There's a couple of teams who I think are at quite a similar level in this sort of 5th, 6th, 7th place area. We definitely saw that yesterday with K23's incredibly close game, and now we might get to see the same again today if Khan can show up.
Well, definitely. Of course, you've had so much action over the last couple of days. You take a look at how things have played out from the beginning. Of course, Alex, we've seen already the main teams make their way through. And I think when we come down to K23 and Can, I kind of expected K23 to make it through in the decider matchups. I thought they'd be able to get it through then. Now they've been forced down to the very last chance to get into the main event. It's not going to be an easy team when they're playing up against Can, but we're hopping right into the veto. And it's going to be Nuke coming in as the ban for Can early on. You can talk us through this one, Hawker.
Yeah, so K23 had gone for that vertigo ban. I'm glad they went ahead and did that. I think that Khan have shown really good form on that map, and it's not a good one for K23. But that does leave Ancient wide open for Khan. We saw them play it earlier in this tournament. Well, we didn't get to see it. It was on the B stream. But they got a very one-sided win on that Ancient. I'm very excited to see what Khan can do on that map, because now they're comfortable enough to pick it. Meanwhile, K23 go with Overpass, which has been a staple for them so far in this tournament.
Yeah, neither of these maps yesterday looked that fantastic for K23. Yes, they go towards the overpass before, but every time they play the map, they don't look that clean, they don't look that convincing. Yesterday, really just having to slog their way through towards the end, and their Ancient performance didn't really seem like they had put much preparation into it, losing it out yesterday in the third map decider. And then with Dust 2 as the final map, Alex, we've seen what happened to K23 yesterday on Dust 2. This veto definitely shouts to me that Can have a big chance in this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's worth sounding the alarm bells as a warning for a potential upset today, right? We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but if I'm Khan coming into this veto, I'm pretty happy with this, all things considered. Sure, you don't get the vertigo, which has been great for Khan throughout this tournament, and we've seen Capacho especially have some great performances on that map. Sure, that gets taken out, but you have Dust 2 as a decider, which we know is a map that can come down to skill. It can come down to a couple of key moments. And then we get Ancient in there, which is just going to up the variance. As you said, we saw K23 struggle on it yesterday. If Khan had put a bit of time in, they could absolutely take that first map.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, looking through the rest of the series as well, it's all about how deep Khan's map pool goes, more so than K23 right now, because we already know what we're going to expect on these last two maps coming in from K23. We've seen them play it so far in the tournament quite a bit. In terms of Dust 2 yesterday, they got blown out of the water. It was a very frustrating performance from them. But for the most part in Overpass, I think we've seen a good performance out of Norbert. Once again, he's going to be the player for me to look at today. He's going to be the player that's shining for both of these teams. I would say Norbert's probably the best on the server, individually speaking, right now. So I'm going to go with him just as the player to watch. Is there anybody that jumps off the page too from Khan, Alex, coming into this one?
I was just looking back at their Ancient game they played against Xmalian to see if there was one player who specifically did really well. Honestly, they all played well on that Ancient game, but Topa especially was their top fragger and had their least deaths, finishing 22 for 7. So I'm excited to see what he can do. And in general, throughout the whole tournament for Khan, I think Capacho has probably been the most impressive player to me. Just some of the impact he has with his early kills in rounds has been really impressive.
Well, we're hopping right into things. The last game of the tournament here at the closed qualifier. One spot lies in front of them at the StarLadder RMR. They've got to get through this 5th place decider matchup. K23 versus Can begins here on Ancient. Moment it's starting to smoke. They push out forward into the site, and Will's got the first headshot, drawing first blood. But Capacho and Lap, they've snapped back. They've got the kills between them. And now it's Bam and Nealon left in a 2v4. Chipping away, doing damage, but no bomb plant yet, and that means kills can still come in here for K23. Bomb not planted, and pressure now mounting for Can. They've lost the man advantages. They've drawn it back into the 2v2. And now they're going to look for the fight. Willis close by, spots the head, but the clipping's too strong, and it's going to be Edward with the headshot. Good kill on the P250. Another good start here from Edward, and he was a player yesterday that was getting quite a few multi-kills for them, Alex. I think a player like him that brings that experience is very, very important in a team like this.
Definitely, and we have seen him have impact throughout this tournament. As you said, throughout this qualifier, I think Edward has shown us he can hold his own. I pointed out yesterday he's been sort of middle of the pack stats-wise, and that is what he is continuing to show us that he can do here today. Good start for Khan, but they've got a force buy to deal with. They've got a force buy to handle. And I think Ancient is a map where these force buys can be pretty dangerous, especially when you do early nade damage like that.
It's always helpful.
Ooh, they got a boost.
It's always helpful when you have little gimmicks to go to alongside that early utility damage, especially when you're down on these weaker weapons. And Mo's the player you want to perform today. I feel like Mo definitely has a lot more in him. He hasn't really given everything he's capable of so far in this qualifier. And what a time it would be to show up if he could do it here in this final match. The final chance for K23 to head through to the CIS RMR. There isn't many opportunities left to get points, and like we said a lot of the time, for a lot of these teams, it's not even about getting to the major because it's just going to be very difficult or impossible for a lot of the teams. So it just becomes a $100,000 event, and that's pretty huge. So there's a lot still available to both for these teams. Him holding in with a deagle. Spots the 4 player. That's not a good nade at all. That's not good at all. CIS nade.
Hey, you may still hit the deagle shots, though. This box is really hard to flush out, actually. You can see Famous just crouching behind it, buying time for the rotate, and get stopped in their tracks.
Yeah, been slowed down completely. What a terrible round for them at the beginning of this one. All that early nade damage, and then Mo coming in with a 3K. Fame hitting the final shot on the deagle. And that's what I'm talking about, Alex. You know, Mo delivering in a round like that, you cannot complain about that kind of performance.
Definitely not. And I think going back to the A site is a decent idea.
Gone aggressive in towards the cave area. Draws back out and goes into site itself. Throwing some nades in to try and trickle some damage onto these T players. And luckily they evade most of it, and now here they come to the cave area. You've currently got Nealon up in the site, Edward down below on the ramp area. You've also got MP9 of Norbert in that pesky cubby corner. We've seen a lot of success out of players playing in this position. You will actually get a lot of success when you're in these kind of rounds where you're going up against the T side. You don't have Molotovs or foreshadows there, so it's very difficult to get into the site when someone's occupying this corner. And Norbert knows that. And they're being held off by utility. Kills are coming as well. Man advantage in play for K23, so everything is looking good for the CTs. For Khan, it's all about slowing things down, trying to figure out, is there an opening that we can prod open? And they might still find a chance in mid, but Finn's got the long range AK. He'll just choose his angles wisely, peeking out, taking 2, and now it's just Rage left alone.
Nice work from K23, bouncing back early in this game. I think for Khan, it's a real shame they did end up losing that prior round, because if they had a few more nades when they went into that A site, maybe they could molly that man out from behind the box. Maybe they would have had some smokes to cut off the angles, which is what you need when entering A. But they didn't have enough nades left to really allow that to happen. And then that follow-up round was always going to be a tough ask for them once those early kills went against them. So Khan back down to blocks. To see that early molly from Adren, which you should always be throwing to stop the mid play. Smoke to follow it up. And the block train has been slowed down for the time being, and here it comes.
Adren getting the double kill on the Galil. Nealon, oh, he gets a double as well. Easy on the pistols, clean as you like. And it's like a hot knife through butter as it's cleaned up. Laugh. He's gonna try and walk to the bomb and quickly gets the round done with. Job from everybody over on the K23 side. Good start into this game, and 3-1 up. You can't complain about it. Over for CAD, and here we go. Buy round out for them, AK-47s. We discussed how they should have a good bit of preparation over here on Intrin, and you do want to see that on the T side, any set pieces they might have, any hard work they've been putting in, because like you said, Alex, we know from looking at the stats and everything that happened in the performance in the closed qualifier that they're capable of playing the map, but we haven't actually got to see it ourselves.
Let's hope they can show that ability here today, because this is the most important game they've played in the qualifier so far. No more room for error for either of these teams. K23 have missed one of their opportunities to go through. You could say the same for Khan, but they've had some really tough matchups against Entropic, against Nemiga. They lost both 2-0, but that doesn't tell the full story. They've impressed us so far throughout this tournament. Let's see if they impress us here on this A plate. Fame putting down the smoke early, able to get one kill behind it, but he's not got any assistance. And with Edward finding another frag, this A site could be hanging in the balance.
Oh, good kill from Adren. That's the bomb down in a 3v3 with a minute left on this clock. Kapacha's boosted up on this ledge area. Very difficult to flush him out of here. He has an elevated position to spot the feet before they can even really see him. If they start to come around his corner. Kapacha just waiting for the CT play, but no one's even giving anything right now. K23 playing very disciplined. They know they don't have to give anything away. As they get information on Kapacha. They know they're being watched. They know the aggression is being held for. And Adren and Norbert, they're getting the kills. It's just Ridge left alone. Bomb down in the middle of the site. Adren comes in for the final. 4-1. Adren cleans up. And again, good discipline there from K23. They trade out relatively evenly at the beginning of the round, but it's in the late round where K23's discipline gets them there.
Yeah, nice work. I think we're already seeing some play into that A site, which we didn't really see K23 tested much on the A site holds in that prior Ancient game they played. But Fame is showing us that he's doing a solid job at just slowing things down, which I think is exactly how you need to play that A site. Even when he's committed to the box there, he's got a smoke, he can buy a bit more time. Now against the pistols, Adren out into the open. He has to be careful, but he's got some backup from Milan to keep him safe.
Can off to a very slow start on this T side. It's never fun to be down and out like this. I'd love a bomb plant if possible in this round. Certainly give them a bigger amount of cash to play with in the next one, and Nealon just gets out of that angle. I hate that angle so much, Alex. It has to be one of the most uncomfortable areas to fight in.
Yeah, you don't want to be lining up against that rifle that could just spray you all down. No nades really for this B play either, so I think K23 should have a really good chance at locking this down.
Oh, Nealon. Even if Norbert doesn't step up with that first kill, Nealon's here. He's ready for the rest. And now the attacks come out. Edward gets one. And now it's just the Tech 9 of Laugh who remains, and Mo collects the kill. Nice and clean from K23. It's all about limiting those casualties. They lose one player, but everybody else fragging out. And the money is good over here for K23. And you know what a very positive sign is so far, Alex? Norbert only has 2 kills, and they're 5-1 up right now. That's a very good sign, because Norbert is too often the player that they have to rely on. But if everybody else could do their job, then that means that K23 should be performing much better.
Definitely a very positive sign for this squad. As you pointed out, Norbert has been their star man throughout the tournament. He's actually their only player above a 1 rating in this tournament right now. The rest of the squad are just below that 1 rating. A bunch of them at sort of 0.99 to 0.95 ratings. But Norbert has been the clear standout, the only man that's been able to be positive for them so far in the tournament. But so far on this map, that looks set to change as the rest of the squad have been helping out. Slower start to this round from Khan. They've got many more nades available to them now, so I like that they're using this utility early, slowly taking some map control. Milan wants to fight for the cave, but elsewhere, Norbert's been taken out of the action. That could put Neelan under pressure on this B site. He's already calling for some more assistance.
Under a minute left. Man advantage can finally feel a little bit more comfortable, but Mo goes into the Lion's Den. That's not a bad call out for it. Maybe should have called that a long time ago, Alex. He's found himself a kill upon pushing in towards the cave area, so that man advantage has been equalized back into the 4v4. And with 35 seconds left, Mo is going to be holding once again from this spot. He loves this angle, especially when he has that rifle support into the ramp. This can be so strong, but it's a little bit telegraphed. They know about it, and this time Edward had flashes to get him off the angle. Once again, Neelan from the cubby peeks out and finds the bomb. Good swing out from Rage. He knew the smoke was up to his left side, so he had a chance to get the 1v1 fight. Now he positions around this pillar, but it blinds him. His own flash works against him, and Capacho in the 1v1. Adren realizes the time is so far gone. All he has to do is run away, and that's going to be the round one here by K23. But it started so well by Forcan, right? Rage getting a 3K. I can't believe Neelan does enough really just to hold on.
It looked so good initially once Rage was getting all those kills, but that one misplaced flashbang caused all sorts of issues for him. This is just such a strong angle to hold as that T-side AWP. Someone oftentimes may just cross into there, not expecting you. And then these aren't easy shots to hit. Close quarters on the site. He did a really good job at making it somewhat doable, but low time left at the end. They're unable to get the win they were looking for. And now into this one, they only have that one saved AK for Capacho. Everyone else unable to get a primary weapon.
Yeah, this is a very frustrating start. Going in for I should say Khan, especially because it's your map pick. You do not want to be in this scenario. You just want to be able to get it going as quickly as possible. And I mean, they've had some good starts to the rounds, Alex. I have to say, they have had some decent fundamentals, some decent build-ups. It's just not been enough in the late rounds, and the discipline of K23 and the solid CT setups that have come in from them have really been able to pull them out of a lot of holes. But under a minute left, Khan are down a player again. A little bit of a walkout into the A site, getting punished. Now with 45 seconds left, what can Khan really hope to pull off here? They've only got an HE grenade. You're gonna have to go for some gimmicky plays to not pull Mo out of his position. The boost, I like it, but it's not worked out here. Mo spots it, gets him behind cover, but he has to be careful he doesn't get overrun because there's a lot of T players. It's difficult to fall back from that, and the headshot in from Topa, the Eagle takes him out, and now Norbert's turn to try and hold this off, but they've got in the middle. A weapon to play with. Norbert has to hold on with his AUG, only gets the one kill, and now things do start to heat up. Khan can still win the round, but 15 seconds, they've got to go quick.
They're trying to find their way over to this B-bomb site. Neelan here on the hole, but he's not able to line them up. Only some damage done. Now the bomb plant will come in the nick of time, and Topa's got a really strong angle with his AWP. Unable to get the kill, but he does some early damage, and Khan will fall back for the post plant. Another missed opportunity for Topa, but the time will become a factor here for K23.
They've got utility as well for this retake, so as long as they place that correctly, they can start to isolate a few of these fights, but they still have 3 players, limited time. Adren goes forward. This time is really ticking on now. Adren gets the first kill. Someone needs to get on the bomb right away. I think at this point it's damage control. See how many players you can bring down and just stick the defuse. It's on the other side of the pillar. They need to go. They need to run around the corner. Fam sticking in, and the kill comes in from Rage, able to save the day. Khan nearly losing that round out there. Getting onto the bomb. Just, I believe, a second or so left on the defuse there, Alex, as well. Definitely a chaotic situation, but finally Khan back on the board, and it's a round you just don't expect him to win.
Really nice boost over the top there as well for that post plant. Sure, you can't see the bomb, but you can see the other CT, Adren, who was trying to defend his teammate who was on the defuse. Just a little boost up on top of the box. You get enough vision to get that early kill. And then at the end, you know you can just rush through the smoke quickly because that man has to be in one spot and one spot only. So well played by Khan in that post plant. It wasn't always going to be easy for them with those nades against them, but they're able to circumvent that. And here comes some aggression from Norbert. He was doing this a lot yesterday. I don't know if they know how far up he is. It's only a FAMAS in hand, though, and Laf's going to win that first fight anyway.
Yeah, great kill coming in. Norbert getting taken out early. You're 100% right about the aggression from Norbert. He was loving doing that early on. Yesterday, he was finding a lot of early success, and I think it's quite an important style for him to be able to pull that off, because if you take that part of the B, ramp control, you actually end up disrupting a lot of these executes. And if you're going up against a team like Khan, who will have some executes in their back pocket, some set pieces, if you can start throwing some spanners into the works, breaking that up, it really then levels the playing field into a more scrappy affair, and I think that does favor K23 right now. So that aggression, definitely keep an eye out for it, but it hasn't worked out in this round. Kind of shut it down. And they're going to be making their way into the A site. Fame is going to be over here with just a deagle. He's had a couple of decent rounds over here, but you would certainly like a rifle in this position. And luckily, he's got his teammate addressed. Oh, wow. So it's not spreading. Fame has some fireproof suit. Finally, it does go forward. And he will try and help out, but it's Mo who's doing everything. He's got 2 kills to shut down this A attack, and there's barely any utility left for Khan to get into the site. 14 seconds, Alex. This is just not looking doable right now.
Fame's just going to sit in the smoke. He knows that they have to get the bomb down, and they can't get it down with such little time left. There's no time. Edward gets the kill, but it's not going to make a difference. K23 delay things long enough to win the round. At least the Khan players don't die after time, but that is a small consolation prize at this point, and Khan need more than just consolations right now. They need rounds.
I don't know what's going through their head right there. Do they expect to be able to just walk out onto the A site and not get shot at? Because they just walked dry into the A site and got absolutely reamed out by Mo. Look at this. They're just in the site already. They toss the utility. It comes in too late. The player's already in the site by the time the utility's popping. And Mo just takes 2 kills. Just immediately, those 2 kills are enough to win the round. It slows Khan so much, and they don't even have every member over there. So definitely an unfortunate execute out onto the A site from Khan. They had the smokes in the right places, just not at the right times.
Yeah, you really need to have those nades up early before you move into the site. Otherwise, you are going to get shut down, as was so kindly pointed out to us by Mo, by those kills he got in that round.
Oh, I thought you were going to compliment me, Alex, but...
Oh, no. It's all Mo.
It's like, what's happening here? Well, this is a weird day. Won't you give me a compliment? It's a nice donut in here, isn't it?
It is. Another slower round from Khan. Clock hasn't been their friend so far throughout this game. There have been a fair few rounds where the time has been too low for them. But we'll hear these steps. MP9 up close could shred through these opponents. Or it could just do nothing.
Oh my god, Topa just rips open his skull, and now Adren goes for some of that counter-aggression, goes straight down the ramp and into the winning arms of Capacho. Nothing happening right now. Every single shot from Khan lands, and that's more effective. If you're going to run the clock down, you better hope you hit those shots, and they did it.
Wow, that's clearly the style of play that Khan want to continue to go with throughout this game. Slow plays, but when you get those important kills at the right time in these rounds, you can really stress out the CT defense, and I think we see that come through here. Even though there's little time left on the clock, Khan get the important kills at the right times, and if you can be patient, you can play like that, it can definitely work out for you. Khan able to get another round win. As for K23, their money is looking slightly soured right now. Even with these 2 saved rifles, they will have some issues in the next round. I do think Ancient is a man where those M9s and those pistols can do a good bit of work, and with how bad K23's money is, I think they're effectively forced into going for a force buy here. There's no way you can just save one. You wouldn't have enough money. So they've got to go for the investment. They've got to show us what they can do with some of these pistols alongside those 2 save guns.
And K23 have already shown what they can do with some of these weaker weapons, so definitely can't count them out of this one. Can realize that himself. He's going to be respecting this. Topa already taking control outside of Cave's area. Smoke is not fantastic from the CTs. There's a little bit of a gap you can play with that. on Adren's left, but Topa's right side of that smoke, and if Adren does go around the corner, it's instant death, and he's aware. Goes for a little pre-fire shot, gives away that he's in that position, but at least stays alive and maintains that area of control. And if you're Khan, you're looking to take this lifting control. Looks like you're going to be setting up, trying to take some cave control, putting players out into mid from 2 areas. This really does feel like how you've got to take mid control out. So we discussed this before, when we were theory crafting when Ancient first came out. If you're a T player, you definitely want to try and take mid from both sides, or at least have a full execute to start limiting some of these CT positions, because just so much the CTs can do in middle.
And that will take some time, which I think is why you are seeing quite a few of these slower rounds on Ancient so far from Khan. But 45 seconds, look at the minimap.
Whoa.
Norbert's pushed all the way through B. They know it's going to be this A play.
And look at Finn as well. They haven't checked him. Sneaky in the donut. Gets one finally. It's always a difficult angle to fully clear that room. And luckily they do it quite quickly. But Mo holding on the double kill from the 8-4A1S. And that's going to be Carpaccio and Topa heading their way back over to the site. 20 seconds to try and pick up this bomb and find a round win. McNeilin sitting back on default. He's got all right in front of him. The headshot onto Carpaccio. The follow-up potentially here on Topa. We'll try and get in with 9 seconds once again. The time is ticking for Cannon. They're just playing with their food. Another round for K23, done off the back of pistols and 2 saved rifles. Alex, it's not the most pretty scenario, I'll have to say, for Can. Losing rounds like that consistently. 2 in just a couple of rounds, that's not good enough.
And it looks like K23 is starting to catch up to that play style. If you can get some well-timed aggression later into the round, you can get so much information, so much of an ability to stack the right site that it can be really hard to overcome it. Just that one information play allows the rotate in, even though Norbert's flank doesn't get him kills, gets his teammates into positions where they are much better off. Yeah. Can't at least have AKs. Could be worse, but still not great.
Look at this mid control from K23. They've got 3 players in mid for the CT side at the start of this one. Really limiting what Khan can do. And Topa tries to go in towards cave area, and Nealon was ready for it. So man advantage picked up, and now CT's completely occupy the cave area. And if you're over here for Khan, you've lost a player, but you've also lost a significant part of the map. So you're now funneled into the B ramp because you don't have middle. You don't have the cave area. You don't really have anything to play with right now. So you've got to fight, and you're going to put bodies on the line. And you're already down a player. It's never a great scenario to be in where you have to take a fight to win a part of the map, especially when Adren is inside of the cave area. He's got so many angles he can choose from. They're very likely to lose a player here. And that'll just keep them a man down. And as the time starts to tick on, you can't really be afforded the opportunity to clear all of these corners. So Adren should just be good for one. Be enough to really throw things into Grinder. And Adren's got himself a double. Nealon's coming as well. It's just unfortunate that if they can, they just got all the map control taken away from them right at the beginning of the round.
K23 continuing to show us what they can do with some of that aggression, with some of the map control they have been taking. Get to see this mop up in the midst of the cave. Really strong position for Adren to be in. And as soon as they fully focus on Adren, his teammate can swing behind. Well played, set up by K23. Smart play to work together against those pistols. And, oh, speaking of the pistols, Nacho out through mid has been traded early.
Yeah, Carpaccio really is trying to lead the charge in a lot of these entries. And generally the life of an entry fragger can be pretty inconsistent, right? You go in, try to find that pick, but a lot of the time you're going to be dead at the beginning of the round. And for a player like Carpaccio, you mentioned it earlier today, Alex, he is a player that you want to see staying alive and having an impact for Khan. You don't want to lose him so quickly at the start of rounds. He's basically not been in the rounds over the past 2, so hopefully we can get to see Carpaccio have a little bit of an impact across the round itself. But right now, K23 are absolutely dominating on the defensive half of Ancient.
Yeah, they're doing a great job here. And this is, I guess, part of the risk for Khan. You know, it is sometimes nice as that underdog to pick Ancient, to go ahead and take that risk, but sometimes it is going to go against you like this. There's just so much in terms of different, ways you play this map right now, you can't be certain how your opponents are going to match up against you. K23 have been dominating so far. Small gap in the smoke for Neelan, who gets another kill on the round for K23, putting them up by 2 players early.
Again, map control and early picks coming in for K23. There's nothing you can really ask for that they haven't got already. It's like a spoiled kid on Christmas, Alex. They've got everything. Heading into the last round of this half, it'll be 11-3 up for K23. And this is the K23 I've been wanting to see all tournament. It's kind of crazy they show up like this in the final game of the whole close qualifier. This is the best we've seen them, to be honest.
They have been impressing us so far.
Look at Norbert, 3-7. They're up 10-3.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Look at Neelan, though, 19-6. Yep. This time might not get this second kill. He's going to have to back on up, but that'll allow Norbert to get involved in the action.
He's got himself something, Alex. 4 kills. Norbert is definitely not going to be complaining, no. When you look at the scoreline, we're not going to see any angry Norbert today. That was so
not so far anyway. We'll see. Maybe if later on they're losing their own map pick or something, that's when
the desk gets smashed to pieces again. Oh, dude, that was just so good. That was so good. Not much utility.
Very little utility, yeah. That could be an issue, I think. You kind of need those early nades to get map control. You kind of need to not lose players early too, though, and Fame has found himself a sneaky little kill over on A. You don't often see action here early, but Fame taking the fight to them.
Again, just losing map control, losing Capacho early is not exactly the start Cam would be looking for. Neelan very confident, and you can understand why. 19-6 so far in this half, and he might just get himself his 20th frag around this corner. Rage is about to go in. Have they got a flashbang? The answer is no. So they're going to have to go in for the dry peek. So that should favor Neelan, no problem. They should try and trade him out. So the swing is everything due to the lack of utility, and they just hit the headshot anyway. Neelan goes down, and now Mo stepping up. But there's a little bit more pressure on Norbert if they go into the B site, but they're going to try and fight mid. They forced Adren off, and Fame's aggression into the A site has not worked. Edward has found the kill, and suddenly we're back into a 3v3, and the A site is completely open. Adren's got over here to try and stop it from happening, and Topa's found Mo in the rotation. It's Adren having to do absolutely everything on this A hold. He's got to buy time for his teammate to get over, and Norbert has to make the long rotation, but luckily the bomb is down on the site. They haven't been able to get it planted, and Rage is going to go forward for the fight and lose it out against Adren. Adren is the master of the temple right now, and Topa has to clutch.
Oh, good effort with the fake plant. Baited in a fight that he needed to take with such little time left on the clock, but Adren able to come out on top. Well played by Adren, as you pointed out. And I think using that veteran play style, just knowing when he has to stay alive, certainly helpful there. Valued his life really wisely. And K23 come through with a really strong first half. This is Adren just working around these angles, though. Realizes how strong this position can be, sitting in the back lines. He knows how hard it is to get that bomb planted at the best of times. So really well worked by him, and can't have a lot to do here heading into the second half.
A lot to do is maybe a little bit of an understatement right now. Can have so much to do, almost everything left. Trump is going to get aggressive on the CZ, gets taken out quickly by the Glock at the beginning of round 16. As Pistol off to a fiery start between the two sides, blow for blow. In round 16, continues to be a slow affair after the initial duels. Quieting down now, looking for the mid fights. Rage does spot one player jostling that mid area, so can drop down in that. It's actually going to reveal 2 players. Rage using the cover of the stairwell well, and now Adren's going to drop back, leaving B. Now where do they go with this? Do they run straight over towards the A side where they're going to have to deal with Capacho, and now the rotation of Rage? They seem to know it's going to be the A play. They've got 2 players inside of the site.
this crossfire could be brutal because they're all coming in from one angle. Rage will be the first man to pull the trigger, but they're not ready for Capacho. 1 and 2 kills on the hold, looking for more, and it's an absolute shutdown. That is exactly the sort of round that Khan needed to inject some life back into this game.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? Just a really good setup between the two players. You said that crossfire is going to be deadly. It just crushed them. They had no idea. The good early rotation from Rage as well. Because if he doesn't come over quickly enough and they attack in, it's just Capacho. Maybe he gets 1, maybe he gets 2 at most. But you expect to get traded out quite quickly. They lose the sight, and it has to be the retake. But Rage getting that early rotation over definitely helps things out. Was that a team ollie towards the area?
Not entirely sure.
I think sometimes GoTV kind of, it sort of has these sort of vapor trails to show you which side has thrown utility, but sometimes I think if you switch quickly, it can be a little wrong. Because I wouldn't say that's going to be a team Molotov, so.
Yeah, it wouldn't make much sense.
Force buy is good though here, Alex.
Yeah, they got themselves what they can. A few nades left remaining, but this B site is heavily reinforced right now. Khan, we're even thinking about rotating all 5 over here, but those kills are so quick. Rage caught off guard on the flank, and K23 about to hit them with a sucker punch.
And another one, Alex, another low buy round, looking good for them, but Capacho struck into action. He's got plenty more to find, and one player starting to creep up behind him, but it doesn't matter. Norbert wins the duel in front of him. And Alex, that's another one. That's 3 rounds that you should be seeing go to Khan across this board so far, and they haven't been able to get any of those rounds going their way. So this is definitely looking like K23 just have some sort of individual advantage over them, because they're just winning so many of these low buy rounds. Look how many plays they use. The spacing is good. They're just so effective getting the headshots, and you can see shock on the faces of the players. This is just not it just shouldn't be happening this consistently.
I think that's Topa, who was the first player to fall, who was frustrated with that because his teammate was blinded. So they were hoping to fight together, but that one flashbang helped a lot. And if you can get the insta headshot in that 1v1 fight, all of a sudden the crossfires can no longer be established. Makes a huge difference. Now it's Khan's turn to show us what they can do with the lower buy. We saw them on their T side win a round somewhat similar to this, where they had the deagles, where they had the weaker weapons. Got to prove to us they can do it again here, though.
Rage, he's got himself a deagle in hand. Capacho getting a little hot and heavy in behind the boxes, and he's luckily got away with one that. That's not going to be enough, really, to get you excited if you're a Khan fan. Right now, it's looking like K23 should be just dominating the round out. They've got the smokes, utility still in place. It would take an absolute miracle to get these players back in for the CT side, especially with that boost covering off the plant. If they get aggressive to try and deny the plant, they've got the M4 up above, and that's exactly what has happened. Mo in with the kill. Temple is going to be difficult to exit from. And even in towards Donut, you can't really get out towards the site here, so definitely looking like this round. It's just all about getting a few exits, some kills on the extremities. Albert needs to be careful here. He's stuck in behind the box. Luckily, doesn't panic and plays off his teammates. Rage is just hanging around. Edward's still alive as well. But the round is done. 14-4. K23 are 2 rounds away from victory here on Ancient. And this is the map pick of Khan. So, not been a good start into the series at all. Again, just if you're wondering what's on the line here, it's the last spot at the StarLadder RMR CIS tournament. This is a closed qualifier. The main event's coming up in just a few days' time, and it'll be brilliant for K23 if they can get through, especially after their loss yesterday against the Kazakhstan team of 100 ping gods. Be quite a disappointment to have so many chances to get through, Alex, and fail every single one of them.
Especially since K23 are one of those teams in the running on the RMR points. They got 950 from that previous RMR tournament, so they're not too far behind that 5th place spot right now. They want to get to that main event. They need to get some more points on the board to try and catch some of those teams above them. So a lot on the line here for K23. Khan were hoping to play spoiler, but they haven't been able to do so far. And I think at this point, Khan have realized they're so far down, they're just going to force buy until the bitter end, but they've already lost that B-bomb site.
Going out into middle. Got a good kill towards Edward. Two-man advantage, make it free. Just so clean here from K23, making it quick. Sharp, quick death coming Khan's way. Laff is putting up a bit of a fight though. Two coming in on the D. Oh, now shot landed for Ridge as well. He's taking so much from that HE. He's going to start backing away. But it's map point here for K23. We're in the right room for the Khan fans right now. You got to light a candle for them, Alex. It's not looking good. Push F to pay respects.
And their chances in this whole series could be slipping away from them, considering it is that overpass up next. That is not an easy map to go up against K23 on, and it's not a map that Khan have been able to show us too much on, sadly. The one time they played it in this tournament was against Entropic, who are a very strong overpass team, but they still lost it 16-4. They weren't able to make it competitive. Got to hope for some sort of turnaround for the Khan guys, because right now, I think Ancient is going to be a write-off for them. They've got guns here, an AK saved onto Laff. I'll try and see if they can put up a bit of a fight in this one.
Well, if they're going to put up a fight in any round, it's better be here. Looking like the last stand, and while they've got 2 kills, maybe not quite the last stand. And they are up strong and on their feet in this one. Fame pushes through the bottom middle. No one close by, no one really looking for him in this spot. So Fame now just starting to drop off and group with the rest of his teammates as K23 start their walk into the A site. Defensive situation over here currently has one player, Capaccio, playing in behind the boxes in the middle of the site. Generally here quite often, just sort of switches up his position between the box areas. And Edward has come over to assist him with some late utility, but it looks like Trent's creeped down in front of it. He's got the bomb on his back, and now they all come through. Capaccio is going to throw some utility. Edward drops an 8 over the top as well. It's definitely going to be awkward here for K23. They need to win every fight, and luckily Capaccio getting 1 kill off. And they know there was a second player here, so they're going to try and boost up. Edward's aware of that. He's watching for it. He's so aware of this possibility. There's so many players over here now for the CT side. Seeing this go anywhere for K23 is definitely impossible. So Adran's going to pick up that off, gets a couple of exits on the way out, but we'll lose that as well. 15-5, a round win here from Khan. They'll be pretty happy with that, Alex.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that. Couple of early kills, then they get the people into the right position at the right time over on that A site. Decently played round from them, and they'll get a chance to get themselves some proper full buy, hopefully, which we weren't even sure they'd be able to get because they forced up so much. They have got themselves full rifles into this round, so maybe a chance to build something, to win a few more rounds here on Ancient. We've got a fast B play at the ready from K23.
Well, Norbert, he's got himself a quick kill on the Tech 9, but it's Topa and Edward who are shutting down this B attack. Nothing coming their way here for the T side. They tried to change up the pace, tried to end it with a big slap into the B side, but all they've received is an uppercut straight back down the bottom of the ramp, this time without the bomb. So Callan can be very happy about this one. Good hold from Edward. He did have a couple of performances yesterday, Alex, where he was getting a lot of these multi-kills on the CT side, so if he can start warming up a little bit, that would be nice to see.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that come through. Nice shot from Capaccio. Good trade from Adren, but still in should be an unlikely scenario. No need for Khan to overextend. No need for Khan to peek into this position. Still seeing if there's any way in for him, but there's the refrag instantly coming through for Rage. Good effort from Adren, but nothing he can do there.
That charge up starting to come in. It's just Good opening kills in the crossfire between Edward and Topa, just getting those important frags. Even when Edward gets overwhelmed, Topa's there to help him out. They put them down to the Glocks here. That's the P250 in play. So it should be 7 rounds for Khan. You gotta worry for them more. I feel bad for them a little bit as well, considering there were a few rounds they should have won, right? There's a lot of these pistol rounds coming in for K23 in that first half. You would have liked to have seen Khan win at least a couple of those, so you do feel a little bit bad for them.
Yeah. It's been a impressive tournament so far from Khan, but I'm hoping they can turn it around somewhat here. Just close 5th place decider match. Edward getting run down early. K23 could try and create something out of nothing here. For a second, I thought that Glock was going to have a chance, but Topa gives a firm denial.
Yeah, that's insane. Nice shot coming in from Topa. They're trying to work this boost here. This could work. Oh, the sound cue though, and Rage is going to know about that. Ready for him, the double jump around the corner. And finally a kill does come through. Capacho cleans it up in the end. They lose 2 players for Khan, but they win the round. So is that a Greyhound, Matt? Because, dude, I was going to get myself one of those, but I think they sold out pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. Clearly must have got in quick then. Glad to see it.
Yeah, man. It's the Greyhound days. They were pretty wild, dude. I remember a little bit of Neil M action, Dick Stacy in the mix, you know. It's kind of crazy how they've kind of all disappeared.
Yeah, a bit of a shame. I mean, we've got we've got some representation. We've got Dexter still going strong.
Yeah, true. He's all the way over there in mouse sports, and obviously Urcast trying to carry the Asian scene now as well. Let's see if Greyhound can live on. But back into this one. The CIS Qualifier, of course. And Capacho has pushed all the way up into a main. Player in front of him is Fame, and they've traded out positions. They don't know about it. Fame is about to get checked by Capacho, who did have the upper hand, I thought, but the kill from Fame comes in.
Accidentally ends up smoking off the left side of the position he's playing in. A bit awkward, but not a big deal. The man advantage is the main thing that K23 were looking for. Again, we're seeing this same slow play style, which most teams have been opting into on Ancient. Mid control being taken by Adren, who is creeping his way up through this position. They've one smoke into that A site, but Adren's not ready for Edward. This is a fake, though. It's the B play we need to watch out for, and how Topa can hold this down.
Oh, Nealon. Running up, finding Topa. Bomb plant coming on towards Pillar. Laugh. He's got the A1S just trying to peer out to the left corner. Edward's been able to get one. And that is now a 3v3. Could this be the sucker punch that gets victory for K23? This aggressive play will find out, and Splash is over the top. It's not good. It blinds his teammate. Nealon couldn't quite get anything from it. Jude for being blind, but luckily Mo is stepping up now, looking for the 1v1, and he finds Edward. What a way to close it. Mo does it in style, and I have to say, K23 look very good on Ancient today, Alex. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the second map, because if they're playing like that, that's much better. That inspires much more confidence in me than what we've seen over the last couple of days, where it has mainly been the Norbert show after really getting anything done.
Yeah, and I think it would be nice for K23, assuming they can keep this level of performance up, to just get into a good bit of form, get a good win here heading into that main event, because they have lost their last 4 best-of-3s. We were saying how they've been struggling. That game against 100 Ping Gods, they've been beating them every time up until that point in that rivalry. Then when it comes down to the key qualifier, they end up losing out. So I'm glad that K23 have bounced back, all looking good over there on Ancient, and they've got a great chance to really qualify for the main event with a convincing win.
Well, their map pick is coming up next. It's going to be Overpass. After the break, we'll see if K23 can go ahead and get themselves that final spot at the StarLadder RMR, or will it be Khan biting back? Find out after this. We'll be right back after the break.